Welcome back, everyone, to another kind of how-to / tips and tricks video. This time I'm going to be covering Unbroken. This is a solo game of survival and revenge. This was a Kickstarter game. It's a pretty small game, and it is entirely meant to be played solo. It is essentially a resource management game that has this survival through a horrific dungeon theme about it. Essentially, you're taking on these minor encounters as you go through the dungeon that will help earn you resources and take them away and mitigate your resources, and you're working against a certain amount of time each round, and then you have to face off against a monster of varying difficulties for 4 rounds. And as long as you survive the 4th level monster, you win the game. So it's just that simple. So there's these various resources. There's like this cunning resource. It's like a metal, wood, food, treasure. All of these don't really mean anything except for when an encounter card tells you you need to spend X to get Y, or you need to spend X to deal Z amount of damage to an enemy. Other than that, they have no real value. Your effort here is the main way you expend energy, and if any point you run out of effort on all 3 of these tracks, you are dead. This big track here is the minor effort, and then you have medium effort, and then you have major effort. And each one of these, I can spend 4 minor efforts to create a medium effort. I can spend 2 medium efforts to create a major effort. So you can see, for example, on our bare hands here, we would need to spend a major effort to break through 1 level of shield on a monster, 2 small effort to deal 1 damage, and 2 medium effort to deal 3 damage. Then at any point in time, if we have collected either sets of the below resources, we can spend the time necessary to either upgrade to a club or a knife. And then the club and the knife each have a branching upgrade from there. Our character this time around is going to be the Huntress. She is kind of the marquee character. She's the one in the box, but she's also one of the characters at this point I have not been victorious with. I've played this game 4 times. I've played through each character, and I've only won twice. So you can see that the characters are all pretty much the same, except for these stats here on the left. Each round you will get a number of dice, or these little tokens, and so like on the 2nd round you'll get 2 tokens to spend, and then you can spend them at any time to complete one of the below actions. So the Huntress allows you to gain food, which you need to eat at the end of each round. She allows you to look at the top 5 of the cards of the encounter deck to see what's coming, and you can ignore some of your food requirement at the end of the round. So that's her thing, and each character has a male and a female side. I just decided to play with the Huntress because she's on the box. You have a set of actions that you can take at any given point in time. And you can see these are things like turning small effort into medium effort, medium into major. You can take a general action to get cunning, upgrade your weapon, orient yourself, and you can also scout. This is tip number 1. This is probably one of the most important things you will do each game is scout. If you don't scout, you're going in blind, and you won't know what you need to prepare for to get ready for the monster. Scouting essentially means you're knowing what monster you're going to go up against. You'll roll this unique die here, this big chunky die. That's basically just a 6-sided die, but the numbers are slash marks instead of little dimples in the die. But essentially you roll this, and whatever number comes up, for example this one, I would be taking on the 5th level 1 monster to begin with. You can gain conditions during the game. These are not shuffled. That's just a single card, one for each various conditions, and they all mean certain things. You can gain skills throughout the game. Every time you defeat a monster, you're going to gain a skill. I'll draw 2 and I'll pick 1. These are either give me additional actions I can take, or they're, you know, kind of passive abilities I'll take on. And then there's encounters. Each one of these has a time value on it, along with probably a resource you need to spend, usually effort, and then it's something that you get in return. So this is how you're going to gain wood and food and metal, possibly gain additional effort or medium effort or large effort. But every encounter that you take, like I said, has a time value, so it ticks down your time. And if at any point your time goes all the way to the left here and goes to 0, you actually get ambushed by the monster. Instead of you getting first strike, they will strike first, and each monster has various ambush effects that go against you. And that's pretty much it. It is a very straightforward game. And again, it's all about resource management. In my opinion, it's all about preparing for what monster you have scouted ahead, understanding whether your bare hands or current weapon is enough to get you there in the fewest amount of turns possible. There's no rolling of the die to see whether you got a hit or not. You're going to hit them every time as long as you have the resources to spend. The only time you roll a die is, again, to scout for the monster, and then on the monster's turn you will roll this and you'll check their chart to see what action they take against you. It's always usually taking away effort or taking away resources. Sometimes it's a miss. Again, your effort is essentially your life force. So if at any point these 3 cubes down here at the bottom reach all zeros, you're out of effort, you have exhausted yourself, you're in a dangerous dungeon, and you're going to get eaten alive, I guess. So we're going to go ahead and play through a game real quick. And if there's anything else that pops up, I will go over it with you guys. You start every game with just 13 effort, and that's it. If you want to play an easier game, you could bump yourself up to 15 effort and then roll the 6-sided die to pick one resource that you would start with one of. And that's considered an easy game. There may be a hard game, but I feel like this game is hard enough on its own. So, all right. Right off the bat, again, we are going to go ahead and scout. That's going to cost 1 minor effort and 1 time. So we tick those down, and then we will take our die over here, and we've got a 5. So we take all of our monster level 1 cards. Here, I just keep them in a big stack, and you don't randomly pick. You actually will flip them over, and I believe I had 5 last time, so you can see them all here. The kobold, the hyena, the gibberling, giant spider, were-rat, and then there's the shrieking fungus. And you can see here at the bottom that he is number 5. So this is the rewards I'm going to gain by defeating him. Everyone gives you a skill. He's going to give me my food that I need, so I don't need to hunt food down, and he's going to give me some effort back. And here you can see what he does when he attacks me. So usually the lower the die roll, the less intense it is. And that's pretty much it. It's going to take 3 hits to defeat him. This is what happens if he ambushes us. And trickery means that you could spend these resources listed here to kind of run away. Say for example the were-rat, you could simply spend 2 minor effort to run away if you got to the point where you were worried you weren't going to be able to defeat him. If you run away, however, you don't get the reward at the bottom. So certain animals or monsters you can run away from, but our shrieking fungus here you cannot. So we have now scouted. That was our first action. And now looking around, we understand that we can defeat the shrieking fungus in 1 foul swoop with 2 medium effort. As long as we have that to spend and we're not ambushed, then we're completely fine. And we're going to defeat him, we're going to get our resources, and we're going to move on about our way. So our next steps should be determining how we are going to get our medium effort. So the next logical thing to do would be to go on an encounter. So you will always draw 2 of these cards, and then you get your choice. So for example, this card on the left here allows you to spend 2 time and you gain a treasure. you actually don't have to spend any resources. It just takes 2 time. You stumbled across one. Or this one, which is also spending 2 time, you would have to spend a cunning in order to gain a major effort and a minor effort, which would be really nice, but we don't have any cunning right now, so we can't spend that to get a major effort. If for some reason we could not do either one of these, say this one was spend cunning and this one was spend wood, and we had neither, you always have the option to rest, which means you pick one of the 2 cards. In this case, they're both a 2 time card, but you spend that amount of time and you gain that amount of small effort. For right now, I'm not in dire need of small effort, so I'm going to go ahead and do the idle sacrifice here. So I just put those into a discard pile, and I will spend 2 time 1, 2, and I will gain a treasure. All right, at this point, I am not in any serious risk of being ambushed, so I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to go on another encounter. I will draw 2, and again, here are my 2 options. So I can spend 3 to gain 1, 2, 3, 4, which is essentially the same thing as a medium effort, or I can spend a major effort to get some food and some minor effort back. Again, I can't spend this one, but I can spend this one, and this is essentially a better deal than just saying 3 for 3, because I'm spending 3 time and getting 4 minor effort back. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So this goes down 1, 2, 3, and this is going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now at this point I am at 1 time left. Pretty much if I do any type of encounter, I'm going to lose my time and get ambushed by the fungus. I do, however, know that I need 2 medium effort to be able to take him out in 1 stroke. So before I encounter him, I'm going to go back to my action step here, and I'm going to focus twice. Again, taking these actions doesn't cost any time, so I will simply reduce my health 8, 1, 2, because I'm doing it twice, and that's going to give me 2 medium health. Then from there, I'm going to say, all right, I'm going to attack my shrieking fungus. At this point, I take my time marker and I move it and place it on the 2. If I lift this up, you guys can probably see it better. But you can see that this is where we started for level 1. Level 2 is right under there. Level 3 and level 4. This is how, for example, the shrieking fungus here in the 2 and 3 column would lose us time, because we actually go ahead and put our marker where our time is going to be for the whole next round, and we could lose time before we even got into that round. He has no shield, which we would put here, but he doesn't have any, and he only has 3 health, so that just goes over there. And that's it. And this is going to be a very simple round because I'm simply going to come in, I'm going to spend 2 medium effort. Since I'm not being ambushed, I get first attack, and it hits him for 3. That goes down. Boom. Our shrieking fungus is done. I look over here. I'm going to get a single food, a single cunning, 1, 2, 3 minor effort, and a skill. So at this point, just like the encounter cards, I get to draw 2, and we'll take a look at both of them and figure out which one we want. So, Wrecker ignores any defend effects in combat, or Survivor, ignore all threaten and confuse effects in combat. Response, after you rest during the exploration step, you may spend wood to gain a medium effort. Sorry. So I think we're going to go with this one. I actually don't run into a lot of armor in this game. So there you go. And we just kind of take this and put it down here. The top one is a passive effect, so it's just always in effect, and the bottom one says that if we rest, we can spend wood to get medium effort. So that's probably a cheaper way for us to gain medium effort, but we have to find some wood first. So moving on to level 2, we now get 2 tokens here, and you can see that I didn't even need to use any of my special actions, but that cube would have come back. Every round you freshen up the number of counters you have over here. Okay, the last thing we need to do is we need to consume food based on the level we were just fighting. So we need to consume one food, and for each food you consume, you get to gain a minor effort. So we're up to 12. If for some reason we didn't have enough food, for the first food we were missing, we would lose 1 effort. For the second food we were missing, we would lose 2 effort and 3 effort. So you only get 1, like on level 2, if you eat 2 food, you only get 2 effort. But if you didn't have any food on level 2, you'd lose 3 effort. So it's worse to not have food, but it's not horrible. It's not like you're dead or anything like that. So again, I'm going to start with the scout action. So I'm going to go ahead and for this level, it is 2 minor effort and 2 time. Now you can see I have more effort on this level, but it's also going to take me more to get what I need to defeat the monster. So we are going to find monster number 1. Again, I go over here and I pull out all of my level 2s and I simply just look for the number 1. So here we go. Number 1, the Abomination. This is actually the first time I've seen this guy. So you can see he's got a health of 6. He has an ambush effect. He has trickery that I could take if I'm not ready. That's what he'll do to me if I give him a turn, which I probably will have to. I don't think there's anything that can get 6 in 1 hit. And there's my rewards. So let's set this down over here. I basically just keep them all stacked together. Makes it a lot easier to put the game away. This is just a general tip, that if you just make a pile with your 1 on top, but you always keep the level 1, level 2, level 3, and level 4 monsters together, I just pick this pile up and throw it in the box. I don't have to go through and find my pile that I threw all the other ones over and get them shuffled back together. My monsters always stay together and I just keep them in a big stack because it's not any big secret what the other ones are. Okay. So I know that if I still have my bare hands, I'm going to need 4 medium effort. I don't have any resources, wood or metal, to be upgrading my weapon at this time. So I don't really have a great course of action other than trying to build up my medium effort. So let's see if we can find some wood or some medium effort here. So we're going to go on an encounter. And I'm not going to cover these as much in detail, but essentially neither one of these I can do. So I'm just going to go ahead and spend 3 for 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to go again. So this one is a blank card. In the Kickstarter edition, they gave you some blank ones if you wanted to create your own card. When I come across those, I just draw another one. So this one's a no-brainer. I can't do this one, so we'll spend just a single time to gain 2 minor efforts. So we're going to go again. Ooh, I like this one. So I don't have any food, so this one's not an option, but you can see here this one doesn't spend any time. Welcoming Spirit, this is actually one of the super positive ones. And if I have a treasure, which I do, I get 4 minor effort. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to push this over, and I'm actually, instead of counting this off 4, I'm just going to give myself a medium effort. And then I'm going to go again, 1, 2, 3, 4, and give myself another medium effort. So that's half of the life of this guy. So he's going to, I'm going to hit him once, reduce his life in half, and then he's going to hit me for something. Who knows what that could be. But again, I've got some more time, so let's try and get 2 more medium effort here. So again, we encounter, all right, so this is a medium effort to get 3 wood. Now this would be enough to upgrade to our club. And let's just take a look at our club here. I'd lose 1 of my medium efforts, but the club actually pretty much does the same stats, except that it's less energy expended to complete the club. So it would only be 1 minor effort, 1 minor and 1 medium effort to do 3. So I'd really only need 2 medium effort. So let's go ahead and do that, and we will start working towards our club. So I'm going to spend a minor effort here I'm going to spend 2 time, boom, boom, and I'm going to gain 3 wood. All right, so at this point, I don't have to go encountering again. I can come over here and I can upgrade my weapon. I'm going to turn right back around. I'm going to spend my 3 wood. I'm going to spend a minor effort and 1 time, and I can bring my club. I have now crafted a club out of some wood that I found on one of my encounters. So again, I am still going to need now 2 medium effort, and I'm just down to 1. So that is still our focus. If we have to, we can spend 4 here, but that'll put us dangerously low to, we know we're going to use up our medium effort, and if this were to hit 0 because of his attacks on us, we would be dead. So let's see if we can find it in an encounter. So we're going to go again. And here's a cunning for 2 metal, which could be handy to upgrading to an axe here in the future, or just spending 2 time to gain 1 metal. So I kind of like my cunning, so I'm going to just spend 2 time to gain 1 metal, and that puts us there at 1. So that is essentially all we have left in time. I don't want to ambush because I would actually have to downgrade back to my bare hands and lose everything we just worked for. So I'm just going to go ahead and spend the 4 effort here to give me a medium effort. Now you can take these actions during combat. Say for example, his first attack, I attack him, and then his first attack takes away a medium effort. I would be, oh, I'm screwed. My whole plan is gone. You can take an action to transfer this into this, but that's your turn. You don't get to strike at him with your weapon. So then he would get another turn. There's a chance he could, take away your medium effort again, but, again, this is a survival game, so the game's not going to be nice to you. So at this point, I'm going to go after my abomination. He's got a health of 6. He's got no shield, and I put this at the 3 marker in case he loses any time. I'm not being ambushed, so I get first strike, so I'm going to spend a medium and a minor and reduce his health by 3. Now he is going to, again, you roll the die just like you do when you're scouting. He's going to hit me for 3, which reads lose 1 minor effort. So that's pretty good. We're okay with that. And then it's our turn. So I'm going to spend a medium and a minor and hit him for 3. And that's it. That's all there is to it. If I had kind of 1 or 2 knocks on the game, this would be one of them. It really wasn't a tough fight. It wasn't like this back and forth. If you are good at planning out ahead of time, then it's almost impossible to lose. But I say that and I have lost twice. So sometimes the encounter cards just don't give you what you need. So I'm going to gain a medium effort, 2 minor efforts, a treasure, and a wood. One thing I did not find is any food, so we're going to deal with that in a second after I get my skill. So daring at the beginning of the battle step, ooh, I like that one. Ignore all steal effects in combat after the beginning of an ambush step, okay, so I almost always never get ambushed, and I do like getting a little bonus, so we're going to take daring. Now, I have 0 food and I'm on level 2, so we already went over this. For my first food I'm missing, I lose 1. And my second food I'm missing, I lose 2. So I'm actually very low on energy right now. And there is no reverse conversion. I cannot convert this into 4 minor effort. So let's just move on here. Again, we are entering level 3, so we get 1 more little tick. I could have actually spent 2 to gain 1 food if I had done that before I started my combat. But I can, I'm sorry, I can, at the beginning of the hunger step, reduce so I could have spent this to reduce my hunger requirement by 1, so this should actually go up 2. So it means I would have only needed 1, I was missing 1, and so I lost 1. So the Huntress did come in handy. We did actually use one of her skills there. Retroactively. All right, so for the scouting step this time, you can see the cost requirement's a little different. It's one of those cunning symbols, which we do have one, and it's 1 time. So that's why I saved my cunning beforehand. So we are going to go ahead and grab all our monster sheets. I'm just going to roll this real quick off the screen. It is a 2. And so I've got all my level 3 monsters here and the Dark Elf. I do not like the Dark Elf. She has been my downfall. Previously, she's the first character we see that actually has armor up here, so I'm gonna have to break through her armor before I can start doing damage. She's got ambush and trickery. She's got a lot of conditions she can put on you or discard your skills, and she's got quite a big reward set, but he or she, not sure, it doesn't give us X, is quite tricky. So again, I'm gonna have to do 1 shield and then 5 damage. So looking ahead, either my maul or my spear, or maul or axe. My maul or my axe is probably the more likely, and this also says at the beginning of the battle step, immediately gain amnesia. So no matter what I do, I am going to gain amnesia during the fight. So I'm not going to be able to use any skill, but none of my skills really come in handy. So that's during a fight. So that's going to be okay. This one happens at the beginning, so this one first, then amnesia comes in and it blocks those off. So, all right, let's go ahead and see what we can do. I want to try and upgrade to an axe, so I need 2 more metal and a medium effort. So basically we are encountering. We're just going to keep encountering. There's one of those blank ones. All right, so I need both of these. I'll need this to be able to scout the next turn, but I'm also going to need food, at least 1 more. So let's go ahead and get our food. So we'll spend 1 and 1. Our hunter's action will allow us to reduce it down to 2, and my dark elf is going to give me 1. So there's my 2 food. I've got the 2 food covered. All right. This is actually going to allow us to reveal 3 exploration cards next turn, and I can't do this one. So I am going to go ahead and do this one, because right now we are looking for some metal. All right, so both of these are really nice. It's interesting, the sage, one of the sage's abilities, who I played with in my last game, you can spend your little token to actually, use one and then put one back. So essentially you can use the other one the second turn. I am going to do this one, because if I can get my axe going, that is going to be worth 5 hit points right there. So I need to spend 1, 2, 3 time, and we're gonna go again. All right, I don't need food, and this is better than just resting. So we will 1, 2, 3 and spend 2 times. So I'm getting mighty close to having to take on this dark elf with just my club. So let's hope the encounters, oh wait, I was supposed to actually draw 3 that turn. So this would have been, well, I don't know, screw it. I messed it up. We'll draw 3 this time to make up for it. All right, so I can spend a cunning to gain 3 wood. Don't need the wood. There's some effort and there's some food, so I don't need effort. So we're gonna go with Chained Legacy. There is some decent flavor text on the bottoms of these cards if you take the time to use it, but I've actually found that this game is kind of nice that it's as quick as it is. So here we go again. 4 to gain a minor effort. There's another one. There's a lot of blanks. All right. Okay. So this is what we're going to take here. We're still going to be 1 away, man. All right, so we're gonna spend 1 time. We have to commit to doing another encounter, and then we gain a metal resource. And we were gonna do that anyway, so that's fine. So we're gonna spend our 1, gain our 1, and we're just 1 metal away from being able to produce our axe. So let's see what we can find here. At this point, I am going to spend 1 of my Huntress actions here to look at the top 5 cards of the encounter deck. It does not say I can reposition them. I think I just get to look. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I need to keep these in order. This is going to flip 3. That's going to go away. So this comes up. All right, cunning could be useful. That's useful. No, I don't need that. I need the reverse of that. So this is coming up next. Then this will be helpful. So that's 2 and 3. Yeah, I'll spend 2 here. Then I'll spend 1 here for 3 total. And then possibly 2 more. So 1, 2, 1, 1, 2. So I could take 3 more encounter turns. Hopefully that last card is a knife, but then if I do that, I don't have the time. See, it takes 4 time to upgrade my axe, which 1, 2, 3, 4. I basically need to get that right now. So, what to do? What to do? All right, so at this point, if I know I'm not going to get my axe, my Huntress ability allowed me to do that. I can actually spend my wood to gain a medium effort after I rest here, which I know I'm going to do because I don't want to spend 5, and I don't want to give up my metal. So I'm going to spend 2 and 2, 2 time, 1, 2 to get 2, 1, 2, and I'm going to spend my wood to bump this up. Now this is going to help me at least, you know, I needed 1 for the shield, and then I'm going to need 1 for here, so I might, you know, I don't know if I want to pay all of that and get really low, because this guy can really hit you on your effort. But we know we're going to go again, and we know we're going to, oh, we forgot about this one. So I'm going to spend 1 and 1 to bump this up. Okay. And then we know that 1 of these is at least a 2, so we can take that 1 and not get ambushed. So let's see here. Yep. Unfortunately, we can't take that. We can't do that one anyways. So we're going to be resting 2. Now, I can go ahead and take this one. I'm going to do that so that I can scout ahead in level 4. So I'm going to spend my 2 time. I don't have to spend anything else. And I get 1 right there. So there you have it. I've got the 3 medium effort I need. I can save this for the final round, and essentially it's going to take me 3 rounds to hit this guy. So we'll see what 2 hits against me he's going to do. So again, he's got a shield of 1. It's the first time we're using this track, and then he bumps up here to 5. And I'm going to start with my now at the beginning of the battle step, I gain equal to the level. So we are at level 3, 1, 2, 3, and then he immediately gives me amnesia. So they both say at the beginning. I don't know whether or not one of those, but we'll just put amnesia over top of those 2 so I don't forget. All right. So I'm going to spend a medium effort to bash his shield in. All right, then he gets to go. Ooh, a 5. So he is threatening me. I gain a panicked condition, and I'm going to have to keep that for level 4. So here you can see panicked means I'm only revealing 1 encounter card during the exploration step, unless I find something. So I'm going to stick this on top since it's a condition that's got to stick with me here. And I set these back down. So I actually didn't lose any energy. He just panicked me. So this is what I'm saying is this guy can really throw a lot of conditions at you. All right, so I'm gonna go again. I'm gonna hit him with the medium and the minor for 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, and he gets to attack me for 1. That's the best case scenario. I lose 1 minor effort. And then finally, I'm gonna hit him again. Now see, I could just take 1 minor effort, do 1, but then he'd get a whole nother turn at me. I could lose one of my skill cards, something else. So I don't want to risk it. I'm just going to spend this and this to take him out. All right, so that wasn't too bad. Like I said, the last time I faced the Dark Elf, he defeated me. He just kept hitting me for these wounds and wounds and wounds and threes and threes. Next thing I know, I had nothing. So I get, ooh, I should have spent that treasure. No, I got it back. So I'm now at 2 treasure, 2 major effort, which is really nice. 1, 2, 3 minor effort, 1 more food, and actually, sorry, I should have moved this up. 2 additional skill, 2 additional time, and 1 skill. So I'm going to take Amnesia, I'm going to put Amnesia back. Panic stays with me though. And here are my 2 skills. After a monster's combat roll, you may increase the result by 2. If you do, the attack power of your next wounding attack is increased by 1. Or at the beginning of your exploration step, you may take an encounter of your choice from the encounter discard pile instead of drawing from the encounter deck. Alright, limit 1 per level. So I think I'm going to take this one because I can only draw 1 encounter card each time this round, and that will allow me to look through this discard pile and find something that's going to give me my wood or my metal, whichever I can't find, because I think I'm going to need my axe here in this final round. So here we go. The last thing is the hunger step. So I technically am going to, before I did this, I should have spent 1, so it should look like that. To reduce my hunger needs by 1, I need to spend 2 then, and I get 1, 2. So there we go. And after the 4th monster, I don't think you need to eat. I think you just need to survive the attack, but I could be wrong. We'll see. I guess I could look it up. All right. So let me put these back. There we go. And we are going to scout, which is very similar to scouting the last time. Just 2 minor effort, 2 time, and 1 cunning. So that's how we are going to start. Boom, 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 and boom, boom. And those were all bonuses. So that really actually didn't cost us anything. And number 3. So we're going to take all the monster levels here. Again, there's a whole bunch of blank ones. I'll actually set those off to the side. And we will find the shaman. Alright, so the shaman's got 1 shield, 10 health. There's the ambush. He has no trickery because you have to defeat the 4th level one to win. But all actions have an additional cost of 1 minor effort, so that stinks. He also has this, all attacks have an additional cost of this thing, which is, or no. Maybe this is all ambush. I think this is all ambush. So if he were to ambush me, all this would happen. He always needs this though. So that's very interesting. And there's his combat actions. Again, he has no reward because once I defeat him, he's basically done. All right, so to gain cunning, and I'm gonna need at least 3 rounds if I can get my axe, I'm gonna need to spend 4 minor effort to just get 1 cunning. So let's keep that in mind. Let's see what we can do here. All right. So ignore all threat and confuse effects in combat. At the beginning of the exploration step, you may take an encounter of your choice from the encounter discard pile. So let's take a look at this. See if there's anything. This would be helpful, but I need a cunning. I'm just going to set that off to the side right now. that would be helpful. I could do that right away. I'm looking for anything that's gonna give me, that other one's better. Okay, so I'm gonna keep these just kind of off to the side because I know that I can use one of my skills to go retrieve them if I can't find what I need in here. And remember, I am panicked, so I'm only drawing one encounter card per round. So we basically are either taking it or we're resting. All right, so I'm definitely taking this one because the treasures don't give me anything. I think they give me scoring points if you're actually keeping score, but this is gonna gain me a cunning. It's only gonna cost me one time. I gain a cunning and two. Where was I? That's good enough. All right, so let's go again. All right, so I can spend one effort 2 times to get the armored. I do really like the armored, so let's do that. Here's 2 times, 1 minor effort, and Amnesia armored. So armored actually allows you to take two times where, oh, never mind. It says anytime he would wound you, but the shaman doesn't wound you at all. He surges, he misses, he has armor, he confuses, he dazes, and he wrecks. So I probably should have looked at that first, but yeah, so let's just backtrack here. We still needed to take the 2 times, but instead of losing 1, I'm going to gain 2. So I'm just going to rest right there. All right, 2 times to gain a medium effort. Yeah, why not? That could come in handy. So 1, 2, and 1. Again, I really need to create my axe, which I don't really need any medium effort for. So, all right, next one is, no, see, I don't want to be spending my metal right now. So I'm just gonna rest, 1 for 1. All right, at this point, I think I am gonna go ahead and use my perfect memory skill. I will flip it over and I am gonna use it to do this one, Ghostly Adventure. I'm gonna spend my 1 cunning, but I'm gonna gain 3 things I really need right now. So spend this, gain this, and this, and I should have spent my treasure earlier, but I get it back. All right, so now I'm gonna come over here and I'm going to build my axe. So I'm gonna spend my wood, I'm gonna spend my metal, I'm going to spend 1 medium effort, so I guess I did need it, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. I did want to make sure that I could do that before I lost track of time. So essentially, I'm going to take my 2 major effort here, 2 minor effort to get rid of my thing. He may armor back up, but that's pretty easy to use. So at this point, I need 2, 3 cunning, so let's go down to 8 and gain 2 as part of a regular action, and then let's go ahead and just encounter some more, see what we get. So 3, 1, 2, 3 to get 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And this one is a major effort to gain 2 cunning and a treasure. Now that's interesting. I don't need 2 cunning though. I guess I do technically if he confuses me. But I really need my 2 major efforts. And it would cost a lot more than just 4, so I think this is just going to be a 1 for 1. Alright, now at this point I'm going to go ahead and use my scavenge ability to look at the top 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so that goes there, and that goes like that. All right, so I don't need the wood. I don't need the food. This is going to allow me to draw 2, which would be these 2. And this one coming up would allow me to gain 1 more major effort, which might be handy. So this is essentially going to cause me to go spend 4 though. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this very next one is going to put me right on the brink. So yeah, I really wish the Hunter section said Lay of the Land, look at the top 5 cards of the encounter deck and reposition them, because I could really use this one right here. But them's the breaks. So our very next encounter is going to be spend 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to just take 4 minor effort because I'm going to rest, but then I'm just going to use it to gain 1 here, take it right back, so I'm not going to move it at all. And then just to be safe, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and give myself a 4th one, just in case he steals 1 away. I don't have to take a combat action to gain cunning. All right, so this doesn't matter. That can go away. He's got 1 shield and 10 health. All right, so I was not ambushed. So I get first attack, and my first attack obviously has to be against his shield. So with my axe, that's just 2 minor effort, and this goes down to 0. All right, let's see what the shaman does. He's gonna do number 2, which is a miss. That actually is the only time he misses is on a 2, so that's perfect. All right, now I'm going to swing at him with 1 major effort and do half of his life down. He's going to attack me again. So this is it, folks. What does he do for me? This should be the last one. He's going to do 3, which is armor. So this is where it pains me. So he's going to come back up and do 1 armor. So I'm going to have to take another turn. Oh, I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3 to reduce this. And whoops. He really that's got to be one of the worst ones. Let's see, that's the 6. So I lose 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whew! This is how close we came to dying, because this is sitting at the 1. It is now my turn. I need to spend this effort here in order to hit him for 5 and defeat him, and spend this. Literally the only thing I have left is 1 small effort and 3 treasures to my name. But that's it, ladies and gentlemen. There you go. That was an entire game of Unbroken. It doesn't really change other than that. Each of the 4 characters has unique actions they can use each game or each round, and the skills that come out are different. And of course there are 6 different monsters at each level. I do like this game. I like the simplicity of it. The theme really doesn't come through though. This theme could be anything. I don't ever feel scared or anything like that, or I don't ever feel like I'm truly surviving. This could be like a cooking thing, and these could be like eggs, milk, butter, flour, sugar, and whether I can bake a pie or not. So the theme is not super strong. Another thing I wish was that there was, more branching weapons. The weapons had a little bit more variety to them. They're all pretty much the same. Spend a major effort for 5, or 2 mediums for 5, and the maul has got a bunch, I guess, but it really just gives you variety to hit them for exactly the right amount of hits you want. I do like how each of the characters seems different. Like the dark elf elf was hitting me with conditions. The shaman didn't actually even wound me at all. He's like confusing me and surging and things like that. So I do like this, but I wish there were more of these. I know it makes sense to just have 6 in each round, but maybe you could have like, you know, 6 ice ones and 6 fire ones, and you just shift them out, or make sure that you don't have 2 3s and 2 2s. You know, you have just one of each number before you start the game. So that would be something they could consider for an expansion. Whether I will back that expansion is a good question, because of the kind of debacle that this Kickstarter was with Ultimate Games, not with the designer. So I really appreciated what the designer was going for here. And there's a few other things like production value, you know, like these boards. It's hard to see on camera with the glare, but I feel like this top layer of this board is just going to start peeling up soon. It is nice that they've got these cutouts here, so these slide really nice. I do appreciate that. You know, the cardstock is a little flimsy in my opinion. But yeah, so those are just my basic opinions on the game. This was a playthrough. This is about the 5th time I've played it, so I'm enjoying it enough to come back to it. So we'll give them that, and it could use an expansion of some sort to just kind of give you more of everything. Give me more skills, give me more encounters, give me more heroes, give me more monsters, give me more weapons. And I feel like this game could be even better. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up. If you want to be notified when other videos of mine like this come out, please consider subscribing to the channel. Once again, thank you for watching, and have a wonderful evening.